You are sitting in your home office, having a private conversation about your finances, your health, or your future plans, and that laptop sitting on your desk with the lid slightly open is listening to every single word you say. You might think that because you didn't trigger a voice assistant or because you aren't in a video call, your microphone is dormant. But in 2026, the reality of hardware surveillance has reached a terrifying new level. Your laptop is likely equipped with a feature known as persistent acoustic awareness, a hidden setting buried deep within your operating system and your hardware drivers that keeps the microphone active 24 hours a day to feed data into background analytics and AI improvement programs. This isn't just about big tech companies wanting to know your favorite pizza topping. It is about the wholesale collection of environmental audio to build a psychological profile of your life. If you don't take action right now to disable these specific hidden settings, you are effectively allowing a corporate spy to live in your most private spaces. Today we are going to uncover the truth about why your laptop is recording you, where that audio data is actually going, and the exact steps you need to take to shut it down for good before your private life becomes public property. Let's dive straight into the hardware truth that most manufacturers are hiding in their fine print. By the year 2026, almost every mid-range and high-end laptop uses what is called a digital signal processor, or DSP, that is integrated directly with your microphone array. This chip is designed to stay powered on, even when your laptop is in sleep mode. Why? Because the manufacturers want to offer features like wake-on voice or instant ambient noise cancellation. But the consequence of this is that the microphone is always physically receiving power and converting vibrations in the air into digital data. In the past, you could trust a little LED light next to your camera to tell you when things were active. But many of these modern background listening tasks happen at a hardware level that bypasses that indicator light entirely. You are being recorded, and your computer isn't even telling you it is happening. The first hidden setting you must find and disable is located in your operating system's privacy dashboard, but it is often disguised under a name like Personalize Your Speech and Typing or Improve Recognition Services. When this is turned on, your laptop isn't just listening for keywords. It is capturing snippets of audio to refine its understanding of your specific voice and the acoustic environment of your room. In 2026, this data is often uploaded to the cloud during off-peak hours when you aren't using your device. You need to go into your settings, find the privacy and security section, and look for anything related to speech recognition or inking and typing personalization. Flip that switch to off immediately. By doing this, you are revoking the software's permission to store and upload your voice prints, which are as unique to you as your fingerprints. But the software settings are only the first layer of the problem. We have to talk about the system-level drivers. Many laptop brands like Dell, HP, Lenovo, and Apple include proprietary audio management software that comes pre-installed. These apps often have a feature called acoustic scene detection. This is marketed as a way for your laptop to automatically adjust your speaker settings depending on if you are in a quiet room or a crowded coffee shop. In reality, to do this, the laptop has to constantly analyze the background noise around you. In 2026, these audio profiles are being used by advertisers to determine your location and your lifestyle. If your laptop hears a baby crying in the background or a dog barking, that information is tagged to your advertising ID. You need to open your task manager, find these third-party audio utilities, and disable their permissions to access the microphone for environmental sensing. If you don't need your laptop to automatically change its EQ settings based on the room's echo, there is no reason for this feature to be active. Now, let's address the most invasive part of this 2026 technology, which is the use of ultrasonic beacons. This is a technique where your laptop's microphone listens for high-frequency sounds that humans can't hear. These sounds are emitted by television commercials, retail store speakers, and even other people's smartphones. When your laptop picks up one of these silent signals, it confirms that you are in a specific location or watching a specific show. This allows companies to link your physical movements to your digital profile with incredible accuracy. To stop this, you have to go into your browser settings and your application permissions and specifically deny microphone access to any app that doesn't absolutely require it for its core function. Why does a calculator app or a photo editor need microphone access? They don't. They are often just listening for those ultrasonic beacons to track you across different platforms. Another hidden vulnerability is the Wake on Voice feature integrated into the BIOS or UEFI of your laptop. This is a level deeper than your operating system. If this is enabled, Even if you wipe your hard drive and install a fresh copy of Windows or Linux, the hardware might still be listening for a trigger word. In 2026, many hackers have discovered how to exploit these always-on hardware listeners to turn them into remote bugging devices. You need to restart your laptop, enter the BIOS setup by tapping the F2 or delete key, and look for a setting called Voice Wake Up or Always-On Microphone. Disable it. This ensures that the only way for your microphone to receive power is when the operating system is fully booted and you have granted explicit permission for an app to use it. This is the only way to truly have hardware-level peace of mind. You might be wondering why this is happening so pervasively in 2026. The answer is the race for artificial intelligence data. AI models require trillions of data points to become more human-like, and there is no better source of data than the spontaneous, natural conversations that happen in a home. The audio captured by your laptop is fed into massive neural networks to teach them how humans interact, how we express emotions, and how we respond to different stimuli. Your privacy is being traded for the development of a product you will likely be forced to pay for later. It is a cycle of exploitation, where your personal life is the raw material for the technology industry's next profit margin. Let's talk about the psychological impact of knowing your devices are listening. It creates a subtle shift in how you behave in your own home. You might find yourself hesitating before saying something sensitive, or perhaps you feel a nagging sense of being watched. This is the erosion of the private sphere. In 2026, the home should be a sanctuary, a place where you can be your most authentic self without a corporate algorithm judging your speech patterns. By disabling these settings, you are taking a stand for the right to be unobserved. You are reclaiming your home as a private space. One often overlooked setting is the remote assistance and speech telemetry. Many corporate and school-issued laptops have these turned on by default so that the IT department can troubleshoot issues. However, if these features are misconfigured or if the management server is compromised, anyone with access to that server could potentially listen to the audio fed from your laptop's microphone. If you are using a device that isn't personally owned by you, you need to check the administrative permissions. Look for settings related to telemetry and diagnostics. Even on a personal machine, these diagnostic settings often include audio samples that are sent back to the manufacturer when an app crashes. You should set your diagnostic data to basic only, ensuring that no sensitive audio or personal metadata is included in the reports. We also have to consider the smart assistants themselves. Whether it is Cortana, Siri, or Alexa, these programs are designed to be helpful, but their primary function in 2026 has shifted toward being data harvesters. Even if you don't use them, they are often running in the background, waiting for a command. You need to go into your startup apps and make sure these assistants are fully disabled. Don't just close the window. You have to stop them from launching when you turn on your computer. In many cases, you have to go into the registry or use a deep cleaning utility to fully remove their influence from your system. They are persistent, and they will try to reactivate themselves after every major system update, so you have to be vigilant. A very clever trick used by developers in 2026 is the use of audio ducking permissions. This is a setting that allows an app to lower the volume of other sounds so it can clearly record or hear a voice command. Often, apps will use this to gain priority access to the microphone driver. You should check your sound control panel and look for the Communications tab. Set it to do nothing when Windows detects communications activity. This prevents the system from giving preferential treatment to microphone-hungry apps and makes it harder for hidden recorders to hijack your audio stream without you noticing a change in your speakers. We also need to mention the physical security of your laptop. If your laptop doesn't have a physical mute switch for the microphone, you might want to consider an external solution. In 2026, many privacy-conscious users are using hardware microphone blockers. These are small plugs that go into your headphone jack and trick the computer into thinking an external microphone is plugged in. There is no actual microphone attached. This effectively silences the internal mic at a hardware level. For laptops that use USB-C audio, there are similar digital blockers. If you really want to be sure no one is listening, these physical tools are the ultimate backup to your software settings. What about the legal side of things? In 2026, laws around digital privacy are still struggling to keep up with the pace of technology. While some regions have strengthened their data protection acts, there are often loopholes for improvements to the user experience or mandatory security logging. This means the burden of protection lies on you, the user. You cannot wait for a government to tell a multi-billion-dollar corporation to stop listening. You have to be the one to flip the switch. You have to be the one to educate yourself on where these settings are hidden. Think about the long-term consequences of this data collection. In 10 years, the audio recorded by your laptop today could be used to create a perfect digital clone of your voice. With the rise of deepfake technology, having hours of someone's natural speech is all an attacker needs to impersonate them. It could call your family members or your bank and sound exactly like you. Protecting your audio data today is about protecting your future identity. It is not just about the present moment. It is about preventing the creation of a digital double that can be used against you. The tech industry wants us to believe that this level of surveillance is just the price of modern living. They want us to think that in order to have smart, helpful devices, we must give up our privacy. But that is a false choice. We can have high-performance laptops and helpful software without the 24/7 surveillance. There are privacy-focused companies and open-source projects that prove it is possible to build great tech that respects the user. By disabling the hidden recordings on your current laptop, you are sending a message to the manufacturers that you do not accept their terms of engagement. You are voting with your settings for a more private world. Another aspect to check is your peripheral devices. If you use a gaming headset, a webcam with a built-in mic, or a docking station, these often have their own drivers and their own background listening features. Your laptop might be secure, but your external webcam could be the one doing the recording. You need to apply the same level of scrutiny to every device that has a microphone and connects to your computer. Go into your device manager and disable any microphones you aren't actively using. It is better to have to enable a device once a week for a meeting than to leave it active and vulnerable for the other 167 hours. Keep an eye on your network traffic as well. If your laptop is uploading audio data, you will often see spikes in your outbound data usage at night. You can use a network monitor to see which applications are sending data and where it is going. If you see your audio host process sending 10 megabytes of data to a server in the middle of the night, you know exactly what is happening. This kind of forensic approach is becoming necessary for anyone who wants to maintain a true level of privacy in the modern era. Let's look at the browsers again. Modern web standards allow websites to request access to your media devices. In 2026, some malicious sites use small, invisible pop-ups or hidden frames to keep the microphone active even after you think you've left the page. You should always use a browser that provides a clear, unmistakable visual indicator in the tab when the microphone is being used. More importantly, you should set your browser to ask every time a site wants to use your hardware. Never set it to allow by default. The browser is the most common way for external threats to gain access to your laptop's sensors, so it must be your most heavily guarded gateway. We should also talk about the environmental impact. Running these background listening chips and uploading massive amounts of audio data consumes a significant amount of electricity when scaled across billions of devices. By disabling these features, you are actually making your laptop more energy efficient and extending your battery life. Surveillance is a heavy load for a processor to carry. When you free your laptop from its spying duties, it can focus its resources on the tasks you actually want to perform. You'll notice your laptop runs cooler and your fan kicks on less often. Your privacy is good for your hardware's longevity. In 2026, we are also seeing the integration of AI that can interpret the typing sounds of your keyboard to guess what you are writing. This is called an acoustic side-channel attack. By listening to the specific clicks and clacks of your keys, an algorithm can determine your passwords or private messages with over 90% accuracy. This is another reason why an always-on microphone is so dangerous. It's not just about what you say, it's about what you type while the mic is active. Disabling the microphone when you don't need it is a critical step in preventing this kind of high-tech eavesdropping. The final layer of defense is awareness. Share this knowledge with your friends and family. Most people aren't tech-savvy enough to find the BIOS or the registry settings, but they deserve to know that they are being recorded. In 2026, a community that is informed is much harder to exploit than a group of isolated individuals. When we all collectively start disabling these features, the data becomes less valuable because it is less complete. We can break the surveillance model by simply refusing to participate in it. To summarize the journey we've taken today, remember that your laptop is a complex machine with multiple layers of software and hardware. To truly secure your audio privacy, you have to address the operating system settings, the manufacturer's drivers, the BIOS-level features, and the application-specific permissions. It takes about 15 minutes to go through all these steps, but those 15 minutes buy you a lifetime of privacy. Don't let your laptop be a witness to your private life. Take control of your sensors, lock down your data, and remember that your voice is yours and yours alone. As we move forward into the late 2020s, the technology will only become more integrated and more subtle. The blinking lights will fade away, and the microphones will get smaller and more sensitive. But the principle of consent remains paramount. If you didn't say it was okay for your laptop to record you, then it shouldn't be doing it, period. You have the tools, you have the knowledge, and now you have the power to make your laptop work for you, not for a data broker or a machine learning model. Block the listeners, secure your room, and breathe easy knowing that your conversations are finally private again. The era of the 24/7's hidden recorder ends today, on your desk, with these settings. Stay curious, stay informed, and always keep an eye on those blinking lights, even when they tell you everything is fine. Your privacy is a fundamental right, and it is worth the effort to protect it every single day.